Hi there, ho there. Welcome everyone to season 2 of SEMBANG with PARTS. And in this episode, we have a special collab with Kiara and Ush from the Gamers Guild. Roll the intro, please. All right, so Kiara, Ush, come on, say hi. Don't be shy.
Hello.
Hey.
Hope I'm clear enough.
Don't worry, you're loud and clear. You're loud and clear. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, Gamers Guild is actually a really new club on the block in BAC IACT. So now, Ush, Kiara, what is the Gamers Guild?
Well, the gamer skill first of all is basically, if you know what the word guild means, is a whole club full of gamers, and not just video gamers but gaming in general. You want tabletop, we got that. You want video games, we got that. Esports, we got that. So yeah, we're like a whole entire club just full of just gamers from the BAC educational group.
Oh wow. Okay, that's okay. That's a pretty big group. The moment you mentioned the whole of BAC, I mean, that's a lot of people. All right. So now, my first question towards Kiara. Now that Ush has answered the first one, when was it formed? Who formed it?
Gamer Skill was actually formed around I believe it was end of last year.
Mhm.
With basically our advisory lecturer Miss Farah. She gathered some gamers together to raise funds for the flood relief victims, and from there we actually did raise a good amount of funds. I believe it was something of about 3,000, and then from there, from the people there, we gathered together and we sort of created the Gamers Guild and we expanded from there.
Because I remember when we were doing the podcast episode with another podcast team. If you guys would like, that video is up on our YouTube channel. Feel free to check it out. So when we were doing the recording for the Flood podcast, right? I did hear about the Gamers Guild, and my first question was, why have I never heard about it before? And it's surprising actually that it came up during that time. And I did actually watch the Twitch streams. Not going to lie, it was pretty good.
Well, I
Well,
think if you know that Miss Farah, our advisor, was before becoming our advisor, was a streamer. So she mostly streams on Twitch a lot. So we have for her having a club full of gamers in the college was very much like her. That's her baby right there. She wants to actually have this whole entire club. So it was still in the making. I would like to say it was the end of January when the club finally was formally created.
Mm-mm. Mm, I see. Okay, that's actually new, very new information to me because I never knew this one. And so that is very interesting actually. So how long it took about a month to form the entire club? I mean, was that from start to finish with all the paperwork, or was it just finding members? That
Mostly it was like mostly just finding committee members and
Mhm.
just to get the whole entire backbone of the whole entire club. Then we could run it. I think Kiara should know that it took quite some time to actually
yeah.
properly
Mm.
get the club running.
Well,
Ah,
actually, to get a club running, how do you get a club running? Easy enough. You have to get in committee members, and that took a little bit of time as well. And then after that, we had the committee members actually had to have a meeting to discuss, what we're about, what we want to do in the future, and then only we launched the club. So that was the kind of logistics behind it.
it looks like there was a lot more planning that went into this than I originally realized. Well, there goes the idea of starting a club purely based on coffee. Ah,
Start a club about MacBooks.
okay, it's way too early on in the episode to take a pop shot at the MacBook, shall we? Save it for later.
I can't resist.
All right, so moving on to another question that I have for y'all. I mean, I have accumulated a couple of them over the weeks, thinking about what I'm gonna ask y'all. What activities do y'all do?
Huh. what activities do we all do? Obviously, we have club meetings. You know, where we do alternate Wednesdays. We just had a club meeting last Wednesday, where
Mm.
we actually have our console month. So Kiara could explain our monthly themes.
Okay, so the gist of the monthly themes is that every single month we came up with a different game or a different console because we are, as Ush mentioned earlier, we cover every game, not just like computer games. We also cover phone games and all that. So we kind of got the idea that every month we want to have a different theme. So last month it was board games, and then this month we kind of came into like console month where we kind of played it on. I believe Ush brought his PS4, and I
I
yeah.
It's
I
basically
missed it.
console month from the whole. Well, it's we call it console month, but from the meeting that we had last Wednesday was mostly fighting games. So we had the PS4, we had Nintendo Switch, we even had retro games like Super Nintendo, N64. What else? Sega Genesis, PS1. We got it.
I'm sorry, what? Y'all had retro games too?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's like we said, we covering the all aspects of gaming.
like
Now
if there's
now
a
I wish I
game out
showed up.
there, it's covered by us.
I wish I showed up now. Because
Well, you should have.
okay, because to
Yep.
be honest with you, I'm a huge sucker for retro games, and my next setup that I'm actually building is for my PlayStations. Yes, I have multiple of them. I have both the one and the two, and I have a CRT monitor that I'm bringing in just so that I can play those games with the the classic nostalgic vibe.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
time to bring it over the Gamers Guild so that they can help you out with those retro games.
Hey, yeah, but I'm not sponsoring it though. Those are my babies.
You don't have to sponsor. Like, I mean, mostly the committee kind of like pitches in, and whoever can bring their, like, you can actually just bring it to during meetings, and then contribute it, and then people can play along with you.
Oh,
Sometimes you have games you have two players.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we got a member who brought in their PS4 that has Just Dance on it, and we just had so much fun of doing just playing Just Dance. Well,
Ju-
it was a very difficult time for me doing Just Dance. I think I just burned about 500 calories just because of it.
just just dance a little bit. It's a little bit too much movement for me. That's pretty ironic actually, because what people see in gamers back then was we sit in our chairs all day for like 15 hours a day just playing games non-stop. They don't know Just Dance clearly. The scene
Oh
has changed quite a lot in those years, to be honest.
It has.
yeah,
So now now I'm actually curious about both of y'all. So tell me, like, this is just for the audience to get to know you better as well, not just for me. What are your favorite genres? Kiara, Push. What are your favorite genres?
Kira, how about you go first?
Genres, as in.
In games? Any games? Board games,
Oh,
console games, PC games, anything.
oh, well, tabletop. I'm a sucker for D&D. Yeah.
Well,
See,
not
that's pretty
see.
interesting.
So you got both of us. You have Kiara, who's much more focused on tabletop. Then you have me. I like tabletop myself, but I'm much more into video games. So if you're gonna ask me what's my favorite genre, it has to be RPGs. Like, well, it's kind of similar. It's just, me and Kiara's style genres is kind of similar. Tabletop is kind of like an RPG as well. Just mine's digital, ones and zeros.
I feel like the Gamers Guild is kind of interesting in the sense that I would have never met Ush otherwise, actually. Quite possibly.
Yeah,
We're not in the same course, we've never actually met each other. We were in the same committee coincidentally, and it's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, you're a gamer too. Awesome, let's play games, kind of thing.
yeah. So talking about like RPGs, if you guys have ever played what Final Fantasy, what
Skyrim.
else? Skyrim. If you want to go for Western RPGs, Persona, Shin Megami Tensei. What else?
I've
A
played.
lot,
I've
actually, a
played.
lot. Like Chrono.
Don't forget Genshin Impact. Genshin
Oh,
Impact, very good.
I, yeah, I do dabble a little in Genshin Impact. I do dabble a little in the gacha games. Not too much. I like the old retro pixel art games. Those are like my
Hopefully,
type.
hopefully you haven't spent money on any gacha
Oh,
games yet?
I have it. I have it.
So the bug has got you as well. Welcome to the dark side, my friend.
We'll see. We'll see. Gacha games haven't got a hold of me yet. I'm still
Actually,
very much into gacha
on that,
games.
I agree. Push.
Gacha games haven't got a hold of you yet. We'll see. We'll see. Give it a month. It will bite you sooner or later.
So
So
I can see that you are also a gacha gamer. Mostly those new Genshin Impact guys as well.
I'm. Let's not go into how much I spent so far. I'm very ashamed yet very proud at the same time in the fact that
Yeah,
I spent.
let's not go too personal in the spendings of our host here.
Yeah, let's make sure my accountant doesn't find out how much money I spent. Also, just a quick question. So, do any of you play the original Doom?
Oh, I have played original
The
Doom.
original what?
Okay,
Doom.
okay. If you don't know what Doom is, it's like one of the original FPS. It's not the original FPS games. It's well, the original FPS is Wolfenstein 3D. But then the same creators created Doom, which is now currently one of the most popular like first person shooters ever. It kind of made, first person shooters popular. So yeah, I
Started
did
in
play.
1993, baby.
Yeah, I played the original Doom on the Super Nintendo back then. It was great. It was really fun. The music kind of sucks on that console, but it was a great game overall. Like
And
Doom 1, Doom 2.
that's the cool thing. Now that first game you mentioned, what was that again?
Well, Wolfenstein 3D.
I've never heard of that before. That's a first for
Yeah.
me.
Wolfenstein 3D is one of id Software, the creator of Doom's first video
Oh,
game they ever made. It was, it's called Wolfenstein. So they made that. It was popular, and then they used that blueprint to create Doom. And Doom was
amazing.
very controversial because of how violent it is. But then it did, create the whole popular first-person shooter like today, like Call of Duty and all. You wouldn't have Call of Duty, Battlefields without Doom.
Thank us, 8-bit boys. Thank you.
You gotta thank John Romero for that.
Thank you, big man. Now, so leading on with Doom, right now that was a game that I played. I played which Doom was it?
Doom
I can't
64,
remember the exact one.
Doom 1, Doom 64, Doom 3.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I touched Doom. But now with that, right? What games awakened you? Made you realize that maybe I do like games. What games awakened both of you all?
Kiara?
Ironically enough, it was not an RPG. I did not get into RPGs until much later, but yeah, it was a game called Kingdom Hearts. I think it was like
Oh,
very OG. Um, I have been I played it once on my brother's, I think, PS2, and then I've been in love with it ever since. And then ever since, like, as I grew up older and older, I think I'm the one. I every single time something new in Kingdom Hearts comes out, I'm like, I have to get it. I have to get it. I'm not even gonna stop until I get it.
So are you gonna get
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4?
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
There
I'm
we
so
go.
excited for it.
The 20th anniversary was like on March 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
They redecorated a room simply for Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, I'm so sad now that I could not go.
Yeah, I'm currently replaying back Birth by Sleep just to get the mood up for Kingdom Hearts.
I heard that they gave Sora new shoes from Kingdom Hearts.
Sora has normal feet now.
Yeah,
Damn it! I wish I always used to imagine he had duck feet. Now it's
I'm gonna
gone.
I'm gonna mention something very very niche, underrated. Only some people will get it. I feel that this new Kingdom Hearts 4 is very much versus 13 of Final Fantasy. Just because if you know what versus 13, Nomura,
yeah,
it's more of a Final Fantasy type of inside joke where it's if you know Final Fantasy 15, before Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 15 was Final Fantasy 15, it was Final Fantasy versus 13. That got scrapped, and that game was great. So right now, Nomura, the one who created Kingdom Hearts, has been getting really, really pissy about not being able to release versus 13. So he's currently making Kingdom Hearts just like versus 13.
I'm completely okay with that as long as the
What
storyline's good.
one way or another, ladies and gentlemen, we gonna do it that way. And I think for me personally, there are a couple of games that like awoken that sense of gaming in me. Now, if anyone played GTA from back in the day, have you ever heard of Vice City?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of
That's
course.
that's what awoken me, and I was only, you see, unironically, I tell you this now. Don't never let a child play that. Never let a child play that. I was 4 when I found that game.
It's rated M for mature
Eh,
for a reason.
hey, it's awesome.
Yeah, I understood nothing in that game, and I played Vice
Yeah.
City nonstop and enjoyed it until one point where when I hit 8, I realized I was like, something
I
doesn't feel right here.
yep.
Did you cheat?
I
No, in unironically in Vice City, I've never cheated, but the moment it came to San Andreas, there's a
jetpack
cheat
cheat.
every 5 minutes.
If you
I had a book full of cheats.
if you're asking about the games that awaken, I guess for me is Final Fantasy VI. Final
Ooh,
Fantasy VI is everyone talks about Final Fantasy VII. Everyone talks about Cloud, Sephiroth, but I talk about Final Fantasy VI. It's to me one of the best games ever created. Storyline was great, and it created one of the best villains ever, which is Kefka. Everyone said Sephiroth is cool too. Kefka like Sephiroth is like evil and stuff. Kefka is the devil. He is one of the best villains ever written, and I will stand by that. That Final Fantasy VI is one of the best games ever, and that literally awoken me of how much I love RPGs. The gameplay was great, the storyline was great. It's RPGs are like it awakens you, because you get to be much more strategic with your attacks. You don't
hmm.
just button mash. You don't just just press R2 for shoot. You actually have to think about it. Like, oh
Yeah,
wow,
I
Agreed. Agreed.
I actually played Final Fantasy VII, the original,
all right.
because when everyone still had their PS3s, at that time it was like the hot commodity next to like the Xbox 360s and the Xbox Ones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or just before the Xbox One, the 360, yeah, the final gen 360. So back then, that was like, the hot cakes on the market. So were the PSPs. And I was the only one with a PS2. And I didn't have a thin one, I had a PS2 fat. So,
Ah, the
like,
OG fat PS2.
yeah. So, and I still have it with me. It's sitting here under my table. So, like, I had the original Final Fantasy VII with me. I did play it a little bit, didn't dabble too much into it because I couldn't understand it.
Hmm.
But later, when they did a remake for the PS4, I spent a ton of money buying it, but it didn't matter to me because I was like, I want to play this game now and have, my have a little bit of, playtime with it because I never understood it as a child. So now that I am much older, now I can understand it. And now this is gonna get a bit tricky from here on out because I just thought of a random question to ask you all.
All
How would
right.
you define a gamer? Because there are all sorts of games out there. You got FIFA on mobile too. Oh my goodness. You've got mobile games, you've got console games, PC. What would you define as a gamer?
A gamer. I guess I'm gonna say this. I'm not an elitist about gaming. I don't care if you're a mobile gamer. You're still a gamer. I don't care if you're a sports gamer. You're still a gamer. Play tabletop. Anything involving games. Games are, in definition, are things to entertain, to have fun. You are a gamer. You can hell. You can always tell like an old man playing chess. He's a chess gamer.
Ah,
You know, because many nowadays like to have these all these sects. We have the console sect, we have like the mobile gaming sect, and they're like, oh, you guys are not like actual gamers and stuff. But anyone who plays games is technically a gamer, no matter which platform you play in. So let's keep it like that.
oh, thank goodness. I
I have
am.
really if you want to talk about what you would consider a gamer and be elitist about it, I want to say something because my mom plays one game in the world. She plays Candy Crush and she's like the best in it. She's like on level what 300, 400. You don't call her a gamer. I don't know what the definition of a gamer is.
Exactly.
My grandmother plays games like that, and I don't know how Candy Crush keeps going. Actually,
With
Speaking of,
people like
speaking of,
that.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of like family playing games, my mom plays so much Tetris that she's really good at playing Tetris. She can T-spin like better than me in Tetris. I'm like, oh wow, like and that's the only game, and she's still a gamer. Some people dedicate their lives to one game, and they're still a gamer. You're not gonna call them not a gamer. Like, okay, what are you gonna call them anyways? They play games. They are a gamer, are they not? What else would you call them?
fair point. Point given. And plus, if there's one series I waste my life on, it's the Gran Turismo series, forever representing. Let's go. Right.
Nice.
So Gran Turismo for me, it's everything. Like I love driving, so Gran Turismo really like it set the seed for it growing up. Like if you play Need for Speed, it's all racing all over the place, and it gives you a slightly warped sense of what driving is like. But Gran Turismo teaches you like, okay, there's maintenance, there's cleaning the car, there's adjusting things, so it works. And then there's racing on track, penalties if you go off, penalties if you hit another car. So it teaches you everything. And yes, I am a little bit more nerdy in that sense compared to a lot of the Need for Speed players. But still, I mean, it's what planted the seed. It's what started the love for driving IRL. And Gran Turismo, fun thing is, it's only available for the PlayStation, and that is without fail my favorite console. I've had Nintendos, I've had an Xbox, I've had some other stuff, but still, no matter what, the PS2 was always like my favorite, and Gran Turismo 4 will always be like no matter what, will always remain my number one game. And with that said, like Kiara, what's your preferred platform to play on, and yeah, and
My
why?
preferred platform?
Yeah, what's your preferred platform to play games on?
Actually, to be honest, I play on a lot of platforms, so there's not a preferred platform because I feel like there a lot of gamers have a tendency to span each platform. If you're talking about my regular role playing games, I prefer to see them real life. But honestly, I've played several online and I've made some really good friends online, and we kind of spend on that. Like I'm playing Borderlands 2 with them later, so
Hey,
you know,
nice.
well, there's not much of a favorite platform left for me.
Ush, what about you?
It all depends. Like I I stream, so I like using the PC a lot for my games. Like if I want to
Mr.
play some
Streamer.
more like esports stuff. If I want to play like like Valorant, I guess, Elden Ring. But mostly I like playing on the console itself. I don't know, something about gaming on consoles, right? And the actual controls and stuff feels great. Like it
I
feels
agree.
good. If I
I
would play
agree.
stuff for the absolute graphics just to mess, just to see how beautiful the game looks, I would definitely just go with the PC just to see how good it looks. But if I want to have like that gaming experience, I'll do like couch play. It's always consoles for me.
I enjoy consoles a lot too because there are so many games that came out recently, and some games that have stuck around for so long. Like sometimes you feel like it's overhyped, like Fortnite and you know GTA 5, and there's so many games which people kept hyping up to the point that it became oversaturated. But for me, it's like once the hype died down, right? Some of them actually aged like a fine wine. Specifically, I'm talking about GTA 5 because even though it's been out on the market for so long, I just downloaded it and started playing yesterday. And I have to say, as a guy coming from San Andreas to GTA 5, that's a huge jump. And I love the graphics, I love the gameplay. It's different to me, like really different. And I didn't really play too much on the PS3 growing up because I never really came around to buying one because I mean I just love the two so much. So kept playing San Andreas so many times, and I've restarted the missions over and over again. Like, okay, what games have you all like constantly gone back to no matter what?
Um, I think it has to be like this one old Star Wars games that I used to play a lot. Star Wars Jedi
Battlefront?
Academy. No, Jedi Academy. I think
Have
it's an old Star Wars game back on the PC.
Hmm?
It's probably as one of the best lightsaber combat you ever seen. It's really fun. It's based on non now the defunct, it's not canon anymore storyline. So it's really fun playing that game. I think I've replayed that game about what 15 times already. I almost played it almost like only like at least what 3 times a year.
ah,
It's a really fun game.
I've never heard of that game before.
It's a pretty old game. It's a pretty old game. I like playing old games. I appreciate like where video games come from.
Yeah, like honestly, I think I'd like to try that sometime. Would you mind if I come over and try playing that?
Oh yeah, sure.
A pleasure. Now, Kiara, now you mentioned something about role play games, right? Earlier, and the tabletop kind specifically. Like that's an interesting one because I've never actually thought about considering that gaming. And
Okay.
I I really could you explain it a little bit more to me because I don't know about it. It's actually very alien to me.
It's okay. Well, it's actually not as big of a hype in Malaysia because it's still very much building up, but slowly it's actually gaining traction as well. But basically, what I'm talking about is tabletop role playing games. The whole name of it is that, and basically it consists of any game wherein like you know when you were a kid, your teachers be like, imagine you're on the moon, walking on the moon. Yeah, it goes back to that childish mindset of yeah, I can be whatever I want to be just because I want to be it. So like for example, there are a lot of other games, and I'm not and but my main is Dungeons and Dragons. So Dungeons and Dragons started out with fantasy, and you can kind of see it's evolving. So it started off with like Lord of the Rings, if you guys are familiar. We started off with like having hobbits, we started having dwarves and elves, and everyone's like, cool, I want to be an elf, I want to cast spells, I want to cast a fireball. That's so cool. And then now you see as it's evolving, it actually even includes like sci-fi. So we recently got classes such as the artificer, who specializes in creating blacksmithing magic. And it's kind of like it's cool to see how it evolves from just fantasy when it started out with to something even more like modern technological based, although the original form is still fantasy. There are other games as well, like we have mutants and masterminds, we have Call of Cthulhu, which can all take place almost anywhere else. It doesn't just have to be fantasy.
Hmm. What are the specific mechanics of this actually? Like, how specifically does it work?
Hmm. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but basically you have it's a player. We have something called player's handbook, and then from there you have, if you're familiar with several dice like a d20 and a four-sided dice, a
Oh yeah,
20-sided
I've
dice.
seen that around actually.
Yeah. So we have those kinds of things, and what we do is that the mechanics of it say, okay, let's say we as humans we have certain abilities, right? Like I would be more dexterous, or yeah, you're very charismatic per se. You can even
Thank
put
you,
that
thank you.
you can even put that into your character. So your characters will have stats. So something like 10 is the average, and then anything above 10. So let's say I say, okay, charisma check. You're rolling to persuade me that to come onto this podcast. You roll a d20, and then you plus whatever charisma is your charisma modifier. Let's say Yash has a really good charisma. He has a +3 to his charisma, and let's say he rolls a 16. He will get a +3 there, and then it'll be 19. So usually if you roll above a 15, you're pretty much convinced. I'll be, oh wow, I'm convinced. Let's go.
Actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I think that's the new way I'm gonna guess on. Roll for charisma. I think I'm going to use that from now on.
Roll for initiative.
I will remind you though, if Yash rolls a natural one, you are not allowed to come on the show.
I literally have my D&D dice right in front of me.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
What are we gonna roll? D6s or D1?
Roll a d20.
Let's roll a D20 for Yash. Let's see how good his luck is.
Yes.
All right, let's see what my luck is. Let's allow the dice to tell me what my luck is going to be.
All right. Let's see. I'm rolling now. Yash, your luck is. Oh my god, he got 19.
Let's go.
Yes, we have been thoroughly convinced. So now,
He's got 19.
it's kind of interesting because in every D&D game, you actually need someone like, you know how I was telling the story just now?
Yeah.
You need someone called Dungeon Master or a game master, basically, who is a person who is well versed and I kind of like the mechanics of it because essentially I get to say, this is my world. You're playing in my world, so this is how I want to do it. And then I get
So
then the control.
they are like the person who plans the map and everything, right?
Yeah.
The whole entire story, making sure and controlling all the enemies and stuff. That's them.
Yep.
Okay.
And I can tell you that Yash, what appealed me to it was basically very easy. In every RPG game, there's a limited restrictions. Yash, feel free to do anything you want, and I can't stop you.
Suddenly this seems a lot more appealing than I thought. So when is your tabletop RPG month now? What's your RPG month? Just curious.
Coming soon, I believe.
Yep. Stay
Ooh.
tuned. Follow our Instagram page.
Yes, you must
Hey.
follow Instagram.
For sure. I think I'm gonna show up for one of those because it sounds very interesting. Like honestly, I honestly want to show up.
Show up.
Hell yeah! Looks like I'm going to be.
All right.
Because honestly,
Show up. I have plans.
it sounds extremely interesting, and I'm kind of curious. I want to know what it's like. Maybe I'll drag someone else from parts along.
Drag
would y'all-
everyone.
Would y'all be okay with that?
A big party, yeah. That'd be great.
Okay. Sounds
Drag
good.
everyone. Everyone.
Sounds good. I'll text the group in a minute.
I can't wait to see Yash play as an elf rogue who has
I
really
always
crap
imagine-
decks.
Yeah. Okay, Ush.
What?
Tiefling? Because
Oh no!
I'm sorry, what am I?
You're a tiefling.
Tiefling.
Okay. Oh my god, it kind of fits him, no?
it
Wait,
does.
what?
It's like tiefling.
Basically, colored skin horn bugger.
Oh,
Basically, think
Ooh.
of you're
Dragon guy,
half
yeah.
demon. You're
Half demon, yeah, half demons.
oh, okay, fair.
That's perfect.
Makes sense. I like
I
this.
want to see
like
him
this.
I want to see him playing as a rogue, because rogues always have the most funniest storylines.
No, but I always imagine he'd be a charismatic character. Like maybe I
Yeah,
don't know,
rogue.
no, rogues are not necessarily charismatic. They're intelligent.
My rogue was charismatic.
I can be a charismatic rogue. Don't worry
no,
about it.
no. Yash could be a bard.
Yes, I was kind of thinking.
He could play as a tiefling bard.
Oh my
gosh, that'd be so
goodness.
cool.
We're gonna
I
put
get-
on a cactus sheet soon.
I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna be the bard that only sings. Can't take my eyes off you.
It's okay.
Is it-
Just to give you guys a perspective of this, in D&D, almost everything is possible. To give you guys an idea, I had a character who, well, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but basically, I accidentally fell in love with Bahamut and married him.
Yeah, these things happen. I had
I'm so sorry. I don't want Bahamut.
in my previous campaign, I had a rogue called Ludwig. I had a rogue called Ludwig who is a bumbling idiot. He's falling every time he tries to attack. He somehow fails, but somehow gets crit. Somehow gets crit.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the funniest thing about D&D is that the dice often say everything. So we have had a ranger who, for whatever reason, doesn't know nature. Like, he doesn't know the first thing about nature or animals because why? Every time he rolls for nature or or survival checks, he gets like 1, 2, 3, and then we're like, "Yep, you clearly have been living in the woods forever, but you don't know anything about it."
He's a shelter ranger. He
he
doesn't
he
know what's going
he's
on.
been living in the forest of Reddit.
So
Yes.
that's the thing. That's the beauty about D&D, and beauty about RPGs in general, because it's fun creating your own character and just see where everything goes on. And sometimes it's so fun. Have you ever seen like the community where people draw their their D&D characters? They put them in like their own like music videos and stuff, telling stories. Like oh man, just like crit roll,
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh.
just like
Crit
crit
roll
roll.
is awesome. Yeah, like it's just awesome because you get when you actually live in the character's world. I find
Yeah.
that it helps so much because we are all artists here. Like we are all in the media department where we are all
Yep. Yep.
considered
Yep.
artists. I cannot tell you how many times one of my scripts or one of my things had just been inspired by something that happened in D&D, and I feel like it's something that you don't get. You don't get it from like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down here with a pencil and just write something. No, you actually have to sit down there and say, I roll persuasion. I roll a natural one.
Yeah.
The guy thinks you are a bumbling idiot.
If the people who are listening to this thinks we are like big nerds, we are. If they really want to get to know more about like how the vibe and the nature of D&D is, go watch Crit Roll. Like Matt Mercer is a great host, like a great DM.
Critical Role. The whole full name is Critical Role.
Yeah, Critical Role. Yeah, just watch Critical Role. It's fun. Like
All right, Kiara, no need to get so critical.
Like,
But
As in a-
Critical Role is to me it's a gateway drug to get into like D&D. You see how fun these people are having. You just want to get into that as well.
I give you fair disclaimer, fair warning. You will not find another game like Critical Role just because every dungeon master, every
It's
creator of a
different.
world is different.
Yeah.
And I would go into a game not having that kind of expectations because one, it's what in D&D we call a game killer. Because you go in expecting, oh, I want friends who are just like gonna be interacting with me like this. I want a DM who's basically like Matt Mercer who can voice roleplay 20 characters in one go and have different voices for all of them. It's not gonna happen, I'm afraid.
Hmm, that's
That
that's interesting.
Yeah, but then you need to find like a great like DM. There's always like a lot of communities up in here in Malaysia.
Hmm.
Like there's always really willing people finding parties and stuff. And some people have campaigns for like years. Like my previous campaign lasted for 3 years.
What?
It was that long. It was amazing. One of my favorite campaigns, honestly.
Oh wow.
Mine is still ongoing and it's been about 5 years now, I guess. And the amount of stuff that we have accomplished, like because it can end, but then we restart it over and with new adventures.
Yep. So basically, you make your own DLC. Like DLC storylines. That's
Oh
what you do.
wow. Okay, actually,
Yep.
actually that's kind of really cool. I think I might be very interested now, and I think I'm going to show up, and I'm going to pull JJ into it as well.
Oh, I'm really very nervous because I am one of the DMs for this. So, oh my
Don't
god.
don't worry. JJ won't bite. I might.
Don't, guys, let me remind you that actions have consequences in D&D.
Don't worry. I'm not worried. Maybe you should worry actually.
I do have to say though, I know we're running off the podcast a little bit, but it's basically um Ush, did you watch Critical Role season 1?
Yes, I am very like I've
Um
been binge watching a lot.
yeah, do you know
I sleep to it.
have you gotten to Keyleth and the hill yet?
I haven't got to that part yet.
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it. I am actually gonna spoil for Ush, but it's funnier when you listen to it. Basically, we have a druid who can turn into any animal in the world, and she has to go get something from an ocean which is on at the bottom of the cliff. What does she do? She cliff dives.
Well, it looks like from
Honestly,
that I can do anything I want in the world.
you can. It's so
can.
dumb. It's a dumb
But you will
game. I
die.
love it.
She died. and she was like, she was in complete disbelief. She's like, oh, I'm falling off a cliff. I'm falling off a cliff. What do I do? What do I do? I turn into a goldfish, thinking that a goldfish is automatically attracted to water.
Yeah, there was this time when I was supposed to roll to jump into a window. Um, I rolled. I did jump, but my feet got stuck. So I now smacking my face towards the wall.
No,
It's
you
you know
know.
what's that for? Like perfect time for any one of your characters to do the Spider-Man thing.
Exactly. It's fun. It's really fun. I'll tell you this. Once you start playing D&D and you have a character, you're gonna get so attached to it. You're gonna get like so attached to your own character. Just be like, wow, I really want to like draw art for him, like commission people for that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful experience. What I say about tabletop games. People always sleep on tabletop games because they think it's complicated. But if you have a great group of friends, right, to work with, it's amazing.
Honestly, with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, it's not complicated. Like,
Mm.
it's literally come, sit down, here's your character, let's play.
Yep. And then as well as if you want to get into it but you don't want to like be too committed, there's always this thing called one shots.
Oh, yeah.
Like one
One
shots are
shots?
basically like one shot stories, it happens in one day. Like, we make this one story one day, start to finish, done. Those are one shots.
Hmm.
And there's always a lot of one shots. You can always search like, oh, one shot, like D&D one shots, maybe. Just search some ideas. There's always a lot of ideas.
I will give a little bit of a spoiler, not so much spoiler, but a hint right now. For those of you who are listening, if you guys want to break into D&D, really watch out for Gamers Guild.
Yeah.
Really follow our Instagram page, like it, listen, look for all our posts. Like we will get something is coming up soon about this, and I guarantee you don't want to miss it.
You're
Well,
gonna have
looks like they've now hijacked my
Yeah.
podcast.
You're gonna have Kiara just Kiara just like blasting on all about tabletop stuff. If you want to know about my console stuff, it's this month. Right? What month is this right now? It's April.
April.
Yes, I did. I remember that.
I'm kind of curious with everything going online, right? With a lot of stuff going online, how do you view the future of certain board games? Like, do you think that in about, let's say, 20 years, do you think that there will still be physical copies of like Monopoly or Uno around? Or what do y'all think about it, honestly?
I mean, still definitely. There will always be physical board games still, as a lot of people, as much as they say like we want online stuff because it's ways to have physical things. There are a certain niche of people who create this thing called board game cafes, and they would really like to have all these other board games. And people who want to play with family members. They will obviously want the physical, you know.
Hmm.
So it will still be there. Like online as well. People want to play online. It's still like what tabletop sim. There's still Roll 20. There's still a lot of these things. So I don't think physical board games will ever die out.
I do have to say though, like I don't ever think it will ever die out. No, not just because like you have a family thing. We as people, we like to be able to feel, touch our thing. So it's like, would you not like to roll dice in Monopoly instead of having a virtual thing roll it for you? Would like, if you're, and then if you want to say like you want to play a certain game, would you not want to feel the cards in your hand? It's, in a lot of ways, I feel like that's the more appealing thing in the concept of, yeah, we're here physically, which in our generation, even because everything is so online now, especially in the past few years, I feel like it's definitely something that people want to get back to for the long run, like getting it back to sitting on a tabletop and saying, "Hey, yo, let's play Monopoly," because we have not been able to see each other in real life.
Oh wow, yeah, fair point, fair point.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
The reason I asked that was because I see a lot of these games. They're like the board games, especially like Monopoly, right? And
Yeah.
Uno, they've all been trying to get onto the online scene. Like I have a Nintendo Wii kept in my closet. So basically, I have the original copy of Monopoly for the Nintendo Wii. And unironically, if you go into like now PCs, Steam store especially, you can find these games still. And that's why I was kind of curious. What are y'all's takes on it? Like for me, I personally am not too sure because hey, you may never know. Like if suddenly the board game companies decide that it is way more easier to create this and then make different DLCs for it later on. Like you never know. So with the future being mentioned here, I'm just curious. So what is the future of Gamers Guild? Any future plans?
Should we not? I don't think we should give much
No,
spoilers, eh,
no, no, no.
Kiara?
Okay, I'll just give you this much. We have a lot of plans coming this year. You just have to watch for it. Like there are things coming, and we're even right now we're getting recommendations from people around us. Like if you have any suggestions, join the Discord group. Tell us, oh, I want to see this year, and we'll try and make it happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We're not gonna spoil anything, but just know we are working on things. We're not Dit Club, so we are trying to have more plans, more certain I don't know, some more club member engagement soon. I don't
Yeah.
know. We just gotta
Hmm.
see.
Sounds kind of
I do have to ask though, what do you want to see, Ash?
It's
Yeah,
like,
as me. Hmm. What would I like to see?
what would you like to see?
Hmm. First of all, I'd love to see the D&D thing because I'd actually want to try it out.
Okay.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I mean, we have to take everyone's ideas into account.
Okay. Please put mine all the way on top. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, I'd love to try the D&D thing, and I'd also love to try out because I haven't been dabbling my toes in too many types of games. I'd like to try D&D. Maybe I'd like to try a little bit more like different kinds of PC games. Because if anything, I've been on the consoles a lot. I've never really been too hard on to PC games because I never really had a PC growing up. I have a MacBook.
MacBook.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's still good enough. If you ask me anything about Minecraft, don't worry. I know all about it. Don't worry.
This is from the guy who was complaining about his RAM just about an hour ago. So
Shh, shh. Hey, what do you mean an hour ago? I wasn't saying anything. No. What do you mean?
RAM.
Oh yeah.
No, no. It's enough for Minecraft, so it's enough for him.
Right. Oh, can back me up here, right? He was
No,
complaining about.
no. Okay, okay.
Um,
Okay. I'd
I
like
know,
this
I
part
know.
to be
I
cut
said.
out, please. Thank you.
I'm not biased, but yeah, maybe you should get PC, dude.
throwing
Yeah.
me under, throwing me under the bus once again. Never. I will never give in to your PC demands. I'm always going to
He
hold
will
on to the
eventually
MacBook.
give it. Just
Never, never. I'm a console gamer.
You'll never give in, trust me.
I'll never give in. Don't
you
worry
you
about it.
you just wait a couple more years when he actually can do it. He will get a proper PC.
I
No,
have
no, 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 no. When I get the chance, I'm buying a Mac. I'm buying a Mac.
like I said, you're not gonna stop him. He's too stubborn.
You're never gonna stop me.
It's okay, and so the jokes will continue. Yeah.
Yep, the jokes will continue.
But the jokes would be on you because my laptop would last way longer.
At least I could upgrade my PC.
Okay, okay, stop. Okay, listen up here. Listen here. Hey, shh. Okay, thank you. Anyways, with that said and done, I think we've pretty much used up all the time that's available for the podcast, actually.
So sorry for hijacking your.
Nah, it's fine, dude. It's cool. Because,
I think we officially found the title for him: hijacked by a gamers guild.
Hijack my game. Yo.
yeah, it's no longer collaborating with Gamers Guild. It's no longer
Hijacking with
collaborating.
Games
It's just
Guild.
hijacked. Full stop.
Yep.
And yeah, I'd love to actually come to your next meeting. Like, for those who don't know and for those curious, just asking for them, when is your next meeting?
That is in 2 weeks' time, and today is the 15th of April. So
27th of April.
That's the date. Yes.
Hmm. So you have meetings every 2 weeks, if I'm right.
Bi-weekly, yes.
Ah, okay. Okay. Right.
But it like because we do understand that exams are a thing. So if there is any changes, please just follow our Instagram page. We will let you know.
Exams
Yeah.
are a thing. I didn't.
Yeah, I know. It's my first time hearing about exams.
Actually not really for me.
Yeah, and we know why. It's a little bit of an inside joke between some of us here.
Not really. I mean, when you're in bachelor's, it's actually quite a lot of it is like it's coursework. It's
Oh,
just coursework. It's not any secret whatsoever. In when you're in bachelor's, especially mass comm, most of it is just coursework for you. So you don't really get many exams.
ooh, ooh. Okay. Suddenly I'm worried. Man, this sounds hard. Okay, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for showing up this episode. And thank you, Ush. Thank you, Kiara, for showing up on the podcast this week. And thank you for not fully taking over this podcast and making it the Gamer Skill podcast. Thank you. And
Thank you for the
thank you.
idea for the Gamers Guild podcast.
Oh yeah.
If you all have a Gamer Skill podcast, please let me be the host.
Please.
Don't forget,
Um.
don't forget me. Don't forget me.
Yeah, but then that would be parts hijacking gamer skill. I think we'll use our own people.
Ah, okay. But just don't forget me. And with that, also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, don't forget to follow our Instagram at IACT Parts _ official on Instagram. And also, Gamers Guild at gg.guild. And we'll see you next episode, everyone. Goodbye.